welcome back to lesson 1-2, where we're going to finish up learning about exponents and powers. Okay, we were talking about my fish tank, that my poor little fish is sick, has the ick, and I need to figure out how many drops to put in the water. Okay, well, I said my fish tank's a 2-foot cube. How do I know that? Well, if this is my fish tank, that means this side is 2 feet. That means the front is 2 feet. And that means the height is also 2 feet. Okay, if all three measurements, the length, the width, and the height, are the same, that means that it's a cube. Now, let's think back to a vocabulary word we used. Cubed. Do you think there's a reason for that, why it was cubed? Well, remember, the volume of a cube, to find the volume of this, you take the sides to the third power. Okay? A volume of a cube is the sides to the third power. If you don't know that formula, you need to learn it. Okay? So the volume, which I'm trying to find my cubic feet of water, that's the volume, is sides cubed. So that means, let's see, I wrote my expression. Now let's substitute what we know. We know S, sides, is 2. Now let's simplify. The volume equals, what is that? Let's see, we have 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is, that's right, it's 8. So 8 cubic feet. So, is the answer to the problem 8 cubic feet? No, because it says how many drops should I put in? It's very important to always reread to make sure you're answering the right question. So, it says that it's 1 drop for every cubic feet, so my answer would be the tank needs 8 drops. Okay? Then after we put those 8 drops in, you give it a little bit of time to work, and then you're going to have this sad, sad fish. Well, he is going to turn into happy fish. See how happy this guy is? Oh yeah, he's grinning, he's happy. He says, thanks for helping me feel better. Alright, let's go on to some more examples using this. Okay, the first example I'd like to go through is, what if we have a variable? If I have x to the 4th, oops, when x equals 2, okay? So, this is when x equals 2. Now what? Well, it's going to be exactly the same as we learned in lesson 1-1. First, we're going to write the expression, so we have x to the 4th. Then we're going to substitute. They told us x equals 2. So we're going to put 2 in for x to the 4th, that's substitute. Now we need to simplify. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you don't need to write all these out on your papers for your homework or tests or quizzes, but some of these I think are going to be hard to do in your head if you don't write them out, okay? So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So the answer is 16. You could do it the other way too. I know some people prefer to just keep going left to right. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So you get the same answer. It's really up to you which way you want to multiply through your exponents. Okay? Okay, so the value of x to the 4th when x equals 2, the value of that power is 16. What if we mix it up a little bit and we have something like this? We have a squared plus b squared, and a is 1 and b is 2. But wait, I'm going to throw more in here. I'm going to have a second expression. I'm going to say, what if we do it like this? Okay, so this one is a squared, b is squared, and this one we have a plus b squared. Don't jump on assumptions that these are the same. Okay, let's work them out. We wrote the problems. Okay, if you want to pause and work these out on your own and then come back, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. A squared. I wrote it. Now what do? I substitute. So A is 1. So I have 1 squared plus B. B is what? B is 2. So I have 2 squared. Okay. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What comes first? Parentheses. So in the parentheses, my operation is exponent. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. So my answer here is 5. Okay, let's look over here. A plus B, and the whole thing is squared. So I wrote it. Now I substitute. Substitute. 1 for A, 2 for B, and the whole thing is squared. Now simplify. So parentheses come first. What's in the parentheses? 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Don't forget this exponent. Sometimes guys forget about him, and he doesn't like to be left out. You know, hurts your feelings to be left out and forgotten. Alright, so 3 squared is the same thing as 3 times 3, and the answer is 9. So you can see what a difference it makes if you take a squared plus b squared or a plus b squared. Those are two very different things. Okay, it's easy to get confused. Don't let it get you. Okay, that's a bear trap. Don't fall for it. Alright, let's work this kind. Here, I have another one. If I have 2x cubed, or if I have 2x parentheses cubed, and x equals 4. Okay? Alright, if you want to work it out on your own and come back, go ahead and pause. Here we go. I wrote the equation. Now I'm going to substitute. So 2 and x is 4. Now remember what I said. When you're going to put this in, you don't want it to go like that and look like 24. Put parentheses around that. Okay? This cubed is only going to this x. Okay? So it's 2, the x becomes a 4, and cubed. And I put parentheses around this so it doesn't look like 24. Okay, we got to make sure that when you substitute, you put those parentheses in there, because 2x is always going to look like 2x. But 2 times 4 can easily look like 24. So make sure you remember your parentheses. Okay, so the first thing that comes, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, is parentheses. In the parentheses, what do? I have exponents. Okay, so I have 2 times, and this is 4 cubed, so 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4. Here, let's write it out, okay? That one I don't know if you guys know from your head. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 1 plus 2 is 64. Okay, so we have 2 times 64. And 2 times 64 is 128. Now, one thing people forget is they get over here and do this math. They write the answer as 64 and they forget about the 2. Go back and look at your problem. Make sure that you used all the numbers you had to use to simplify, okay? So that one's 128. This one over here, we have 2. We're going to simplify, or substitute, substitute in the 4. And that's cubed. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 cubed. So we have 8 times 8 times 8. Well, 8 times 8 is 64. And then we got to take 64 times 8. So 64 times 8. That's a 2. Carry my 3. 6 times 8. Plus 3. There you go. 512. Okay? Big difference that parentheses make. Okay? I want to make sure you guys are taking your time, and I want to make sure that you're not ignoring those parentheses. Okay? Alright, if you need extra help, there are some extra problems in the back of your book that you can use. Make sure you see me if you need any questions answered or anything like that,